She gave him her worst days. He gave her his best lies. She trusted him when the whole world walked away, and he chose someone else when she needed him the most. This is not a love story. This is a story about how betrayal doesn't break you loudly. It breaks you quietly. And sometimes, the person who destroys you is the same person who once promised to protect you. Welcome. Let's begin. She wasn't looking for love. Love found her on a random day, in a normal moment, when she least expected it. No dramatic entrance, no fireworks, just a simple conversation that slowly became everything. He listened, really listened. When she talked, he didn't interrupt. When she laughed, he remembered the sound. When she was silent, he noticed, and that was dangerous. Because for someone who had been disappointed too many times, feeling seen felt like home. He didn't promise forever. He didn't talk big. He just stayed. And sometimes, that's all it takes to make someone fall deeply. She trusted him with things she never told anyone. Her fears, her insecurities. The night she cried without knowing why. The parts of her she thought were too much. And he didn't run. So she thought, maybe this one is different. She loved in a quiet way. Not loud posts. Not public drama. She loved by remembering small things. How he liked his coffee. What mood he was in just by his silence. When to give space and when to hold closer. She defended him when others doubted him. She chose him, even when it was inconvenient. She didn't love him because he was perfect. She loved him because she believed in who he could be. And that belief became her biggest weakness. Because when you love someone like that, you don't imagine betrayal. You imagine growth, healing, a future. The betrayal didn't come suddenly. It never does. It starts quietly. Messages replied to slower. Calls shortened. Energy changed. He said he was busy. She said, I understand. He became distant. She became patient. She blamed herself. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe love just changes. She ignored the small voice inside her that whispered, something is wrong. Because when you love deeply, you don't want to believe the truth too early. One night, everything collapsed. Not because he confused, not because someone warned her, but because the truth slipped out. A name she didn't recognize. A message that didn't make sense. Her heart raced. Her hands shook. She didn't want to look, but she did. And in that moment, her reality shattered. He wasn't just talking to someone else. He was emotionally invested, laughing with her, opening up to her, giving someone else that same version of himself he promised was only hers. And worse, he didn't look guilty. He looked comfortable. When she confronted him, she expected denial, maybe excuses, maybe fear. Instead, he was calm, too calm. He said, it didn't mean anything. You're overreacting. I never planned to hurt you. But here's the truth nobody says out loud. If it didn't mean anything, it wouldn't exist. And what hurt the most wasn't the other person. It was how easily he minimized her pain. How quickly he turned her heartbreak into an inconvenient. That's when she realized he didn't just betray her love. He betrayed her trust, her vulnerability, her belief. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She went quiet, and that silence was heavy. She replayed every moment, every laugh, every promise, every I care about you, wondering which ones were real. She asked herself questions that had no answers. Was I not enough? When did I stop being special? Did he ever truly choose me? Betrayal doesn't always come with anger. Sometimes it comes with confusion. And confusion hurts more than truth. The hardest part wasn't losing him. It was losing who she was. When she trusted him, she stopped being soft, stopped believing easily. She laughed less, questioned more. Not because she wanted to, but because betrayal changes how safe the world feels. And no one talks about that. People say, move on. Be strong. He didn't deserve you. But nobody talks about how betrayal makes you doubt your own judgment. How it makes love feel dangerous. Time passed, and for the first time, she stopped chasing clarity. She stopped asking questions. Stopped checking. Stopped hoping. And that's when he noticed. Not when she cried. Not when she begged for honesty. But when she became distant. That's when he felt it. The loss. Because People don't miss you when you love them. They miss you when you stop. She wrote a message she never sent. It said, I loved you in ways you didn't understand. I stayed when it was easier to leave. I trusted you when my instincts warned me. And you didn't just lose me, you lost someone who would have chosen you, even on your worst days. She didn't send it, because healing doesn't need closure from the person who caused the wound. One night, sitting alone, she finally understood something. The betrayal wasn't proof that she loved wrong. It was proof that she loved genuinely. And that's not a weakness. That's rare. She realized love doesn't fail you, people do. And losing someone who couldn't value loyalty was not a loss. It was a lesson. Some people come into your life to teach you love. Others come to teach you boundaries. And some come to teach you how strong you are after everything breaks. If you're ever loved deeply and been betrayed quietly, this story is for you. Not to reopen wounds, but to remind you, you didn't lose love. Love lost someone who was real. One day, someone will love her gently, without secrets, without lies. And when that happens, the one who betrayed her will only be a memory of someone who touched something priceless and didn't know its value. Thanks for watching.